Alright, there she is, guys. This is Maya. You can see I got the headlights changed out on her. Did it through this winter. So today, I'm gonna do an oil change on her. Like a bullet train. Alright, so this is what we're doing right now. I'm just taking off the fairings. It's simple enough. I think a lot of people really know how to take off fairings. If not, there's plenty of tutorials out there on YouTube. So just what we want to use, what we want to take off is the one side main fairing here, and then the lower cowl. The lower cowl basically. All right, so as you can see, I removed the upper and lower cowls. Okay, exposed the whole left side. This is the only side you have to release. You don't have to take off the brake lever side. As you can see, this is why we have to take off all this plastic. His oil filters right there. Drain bolt 17 mil down here. Okay. So there's two ways of doing it. What I usually do is I take two wrenches and I take these two bolts off. I release the shifter, the lever, the shift rod. Take all this out, all these components out. But I'm actually going to try something different though today. I've seen a tutorial where they just taken off the shift lever and the shift rod, and that's it. They didn't take off any of this where the drain for the overflow is. They didn't take any of that off, which is what I usually do. So I'm going to give it a try and see how this method works. So I get all that out of the way. Now I did last time put blue Loctite on here. And this bolt here, I'm not sure where the shift rod is. This one you have to remove completely. Okay, even you can't just like loosen it and then expect to pull it out. You have to remove it completely because there is a subtracted area in there that holds it from sliding out, even though the bolt's loose. Keep that in mind. Your shift rod is stock, it may be a little different than mine. I have a quick shift on my bike, so it's changed to a Bazzaz shift rod there. That's why it's a little different. So easy to get. See, there's a whole bunch of shit in here. And like I said, normally only when you do your oil changes when you actually have a chance to get in here. This is the chain guard I was telling you about. Slides right out. Oh, that's why it's tougher. Because the overflow, normally I take this off and the hose don't get in the way. But it looks like the overflow hoses are getting in the way, making it a little bit more difficult. But you can see, that's all the shit that we have to clean up later. That aside, this is the overflow hose. And it runs down past the oil filter down in here. What I'm going to do is actually take those out and just move them aside like that. That should give me a little bit more room to work with later. And then just inspect it, visually inspect in here, just make sure everything's okay. Alright, so I've got my whole setup here. You can see I have my oil bin here. I wrapped a little bit of tin foil around the header, or the pipe, the exhaust pipe, just because you don't want any oil on there. It's not a bad, it's okay if you get oil on there, but the problem is once you get oil and it burns, you get that fume, it stinks, it smells like shit, so just protect it if you can. And only in this area it's fine, because our drain plug is down here. and then our oil filters there. Now be careful when you crack this open because the bikes are on the stand right now, rear stand. You don't want to yank it too hard. That could be dangerous. That's how you do it. Make less of a mess like that. See the oil's coming down? Right. It would have leaked on the pipe if I didn't put that there. It may still do so, but yeah, I think it'll be fine. Get a little bit of kerosene here. I'm gonna clean out the chain since I'm here. Alright. Alright guys, so I got the chain shield or guard, whatever you want to call it, that's cleaned up. The actual sprocket front chain guard is cleaned up. Now what I want to do is, I got a brush. I do have a grudge brush, but I couldn't find it. Anyhow, so I'm just going to use a brush, use some kerosene. I'm going to clean up my chain while I'm at it. The oil is all drained. I'm going to sit here and spray it up with your tail. On spray, I'm spraying towards the front. Don't really want to spray back towards the tire. Brush and just clean up. And do not, like I warn you, I'm gonna put their bike on the pallet when they first get the chain. Yes, fully not it. I normally do the way I can brush it up. Actually, I think I can break it. Normally, I'll change the bolt too. If I'm doing it for cleanup and maintenance, normally might take a little longer. And a nice towel here. Wipe it up. Give it a nice clean up. Now because I use the tool, chain wax, it's a little harder to take off. It feels like it's taped on. I don't use much either, because I'm O-rings, I'll do. Now, I'll be back when I was refilling and clean up. A little bit around the seal. Give this a really quick wipe down. Hand tighten only, okay? Don't use any tools to put this back on. That's your drain bolt there. Just make sure it's nicely clean. Make sure there's no debris within the threads. The last thing you want to do is cross thread or strip the oil pan. Okay, that's bad news right there. Do is you put your crush washer on, and get that back in. You can torque it, and I recommend you do. I don't need to because I go by the same theory. Snug tight, quarter turn. That should be done right there. That won't leak. Clean it up. That's in. And it's going to head over to the other side and we'll drop some oil in there. Alright. Your funnel is clean. Okay. No debris in there. So it calls for 2.75 liters or 2.6 quarts. So that's going to be, and each bottle is 1 liter. So for sure, we're going to pour in 2 full bottles. So here you don't really need much gauging. So after you pour your first liter, what you want to do is just head back on the other side. Let's look at your drain bolts. Look at all your other components here. that you've installed, make sure there's no leak, okay? Make sure there's no leak in there. I'm gonna take this out now. Alright, just double check everything here, and it looks good. So, we head back over here and we continue pouring our second bottle. Alright, so that's another liter. So we got 2 liters in there now. And then the last liter here, I'm just gonna go 75% of this. We'll check. Can't double check right now, sorry. We actually have to start it up. Get the oil pumped throughout the filters, fill up the filters. Right now you check it's gonna be too high. So let me start it up. Give you guys a chance to listen to my purr. So, oil pump is gone. It smells like shit because it feels some of the oil is burning. It's perfect, right between the hash marks. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit off because the bike is on rear stands. I'm going to double check it one more time later on, but I'm pretty sure I'm okay because it's 2 3/4 of a bottle. So chances of it being wrong, it's slim. And I've done this one too many times to know that my oil is set right. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to put the fairings back, and then we're going to do some brake bleeding. That's going to be a separate video. Okay. And that, my friend, is how you change your oil on your Yamaha 2007 Yamaha R6. Peace out.